new policies are going to come in. And those who will try to resist those new policies, I don't think they will be listened to, because it's important for us to put the safety of our people above everything else. And I think it's in the interest of the country that we actually implement some new policy directions. The National Petroleum Authority, the EPA, the Energy Ministry, all of us, fire service, they're all going to be involved as we put this new policy together. And we're going to move quite quickly to do it. It's not going to be one that you wait weeks for it to happen. It's going to happen relatively quickly.
We do have the Deputy Minister of Information on the phone line to give us some updates from the government point of view regarding this gas explosion. Good afternoon and thanks for your time.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Thanks for your time. Thanks for agreeing to speak with us this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we just heard the Vice President who mentioned that stiffer policies should be put in place to ensure that this incident doesn't recur. We want to find out from you regarding the medicals of these patients. Is government going to cater for it, and any statistics on the casualties?
So, yes, the injured persons will have their medical bills taken care of. But as at 11:30 a.m. this morning, what the police and emergency service teams have informed us is that 7 persons have been confirmed dead, 132 injured, out of which 64 have been discharged and 68 are still receiving treatment. That's the information we have from the emergency service teams, who have been handling matters since about 7:30 p.m. last night. The initial reports were received between 6:40 and 6:50 p.m. last night. Police immediately rushed to the situation. The first distress calls were put through at the fire stations about 7:18 p.m. Within about 15 minutes, the nearest fire tenders were already at the location to try and contain the situation. About 200 police officers were deployed within the vicinity to very quickly try and manage the routes. Ambulances deployed, and as of this morning, these are the numbers of injured and dead persons. The President has been on the phone line speaking to some of the key persons managing the situation. His Excellency the Vice President has had to rush down from Tamale this morning, been to the site, visited, various injured persons. We are just leaving the Ridge Hospital here right now with the Vice President. And substantive investigation will also be underway shortly.
So can you tell us the number of hospitals that these injured persons have been sent to or referred to?
About 5 different medical facilities have been assisting us so far manage the situation. Pentecost Hospital, Medina, Alpha, Legon Clinic, Ridge, and the police hospital, as well as 37 military hospital, about 5 or 6 of them.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I have been speaking with Kojo Ponkuma, Deputy Minister of Information, but we're still staying on this story. Meanwhile, the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service has blamed the gas explosion on negligence by officers at the filling station at Hachu here in Accra. We'll bring you more on that story shortly, but we do have a Skype interview this afternoon, and we will be speaking to Nana Yao Akwada, Executive Director, Bureau of Public Safety. Hello, Nana Yao, and thanks for your time this afternoon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Now, we did speak about this very issue when the incident happened and what happened in the past, and it seems this problem will just not go away. And do you think that stakeholders, agencies involved are even listening when suggestions are made on how to handle these situations?
Well, let me say a very good afternoon to your viewers. As to whether stakeholders are listening to ongoing discussions and debates and proposition of citizens are safe, or they go about their activities in a safe manner, I think that they would have to be the ones to respond. And either way, whether they respond or not, is for all of us to judge. We, in the last time that we discussed last, I indicated that until we publish full reports, until we give opportunities to the citizenry.
All right, so we will have Nana Yalkwada join us shortly via Skype. We do have some challenges there, but we're still staying on this story. And meanwhile, the Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service has blamed the gas explosion on negligence by officers at the filling stations at Hacho in Accra. Let's take a listen.
2 cars no more discharging. Tomu gusa so mu yi baako. Omu yi ka in baako. Omu gusa omu yi na omu pipe no we no etuye. Gas na about. Unse no about the smoke no. The smoke no mu na na from master say nso person 20 from master say ebo. The from master say ebo no across road no. Tina bochi bi tutu enam e roadside e opposite. The smoke no ko eja no la kofa eja no fasoro.
The fire was well intense, so they asked for 5 tenders to come from Accra. But by the time I got to the scene, the number of appliances have increased from 5 to 9. But now, as you can see, the situation is under control. I've been told there was a casualty. We are yet to find out. But so far, so good. The situation is under control, except that you can see a lot of damages at the fire scene.
With the regulators, we are not here. We spell out the measures that you need to put in place and ensure that these things do not occur. But those that are using the facilities, if they are not committed in ensuring that safety measures are put in place, that is why we'll be having some of these preventable fires that are occurring.
But so we can't stop the fire at all, except the gas finished burning?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We don't have any other substance, it's just water we have?
It will continue to burn off.
Allow it to burn off? Oh. Yes, I know. But the rest of the tanker? Yes, sir. How about the temperature of the rest of the tanker?
So it's well cooled.
It's becoming increasingly clear that the gas stations are giving us problems, and therefore I want to see going forward what measures are put in place to stem that.
And again, dozens have been injured, with 7 deaths recorded as a result of the gas explosion that rocked 2 fuel stations at Atomic Junction Saturday night. My colleague Evelyn Tingma has gone there to do a follow-up. She will be joining us shortly to give us some updates on what she's gathered so far. But personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service were also at the scene to battle the raging fire at the men's gas LPG station. Total fuel station, which was located close to the LPG station, was also affected by the inferno. So, Evelyn, over to you.
Yesterday, and then this morning, as we speak to this afternoon, the place, as we speak, has been cordoned off. We have a number of policemen here at the scene. We also have fire service personnel. I also see some military personnel Intel, as well as NADMO officials. They are all here to assess the situation. But as we speak currently, there are a lot of onlookers. Even though the place has been cordoned off, there are a lot of onlookers here, and most of them have been here since morning. And we will be talking to them shortly what exactly they are doing here. I will also be talking to the Ghana National Fire Service PRO, Mr. Bli Anaglate, who will also be telling us exactly what he and their men and his men have been doing since yesterday. And so I have here with me Mr. Bli Anaglate. Good afternoon, sir. You are live on TV3.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes. Have you been able to douse the fire and everything? Is that everything under control now?
Yes, exactly. As you can see, the actual fire, the last fire went off at 6 a.m. this morning. But we are still doing cooling. You consider we are using water on the bulk vehicle that has some amount of gas in it. The gas is still boiling in it, and that could result to an explosion. So we are doing cooling to ensure that the temperature is reduced below a certain level, that it will not explode. If it explodes, it will not augur well for any one of us standing here. This is what we will continue to do to ensure that it is totally reduced to a certain level of the temperature. Then we would ensure that normalcy will return to this place. We are also trying to have some arrangements to see if it will be possible for us to actually do some evacuation of the remaining gas in it. If that is done today, then I think that would enable us to open up the route also for normal business to continue.
Right. So I see what you're talking about and the cooling of the gas here. How long is that going to take? Is it today, by end of today, or tomorrow? How many days?
It will be difficult for me to determine how long it will take us to do this. As it's still boiling, we are not able to determine the amount of gas in it. So we are only cooling it. If in case we are able to reduce the temperature as early as possible, then I think before the close of day, then I think we'll be able to do everything within today. Apart from that, it will be difficult for anybody to get to the vicinity, because anything at all can happen. And that is not to say because there is no fire, there could not be any explosion. Explosion can occur at any time because of the temperature build-up on this gas cylinder.
So you were here yesterday, and were there any casualties?
Yeah, we've been here since yesterday. That was after 7 p.m. We've been on the ground till this morning. Around 1 a.m., I have personally went to 37 Hospital, where 34 casualties were sent to. Out of the 34, 5 of them were referred to the intensive care unit at the 37 Hospital. 3 of them were reported dead. Actually, 2 of them were picked from here, where 1 of them jumped from the heights and died, with 1 from the fire situation, and 1 person was reported at the hospital. So 3 out of the 34 that were sent to 37 Hospital yesterday. But this morning, I was also informed that other hospital has also received some other casualties, and then that is what we are trying to reconcile. Because if other hospitals have also received other casualties, and then we were told that Pentecost Hospital also had about 2 reported deaths, then I think we only need to reconcile with our statistics before we can come out boldly to say that this is the number of casualties we had, this is the number of deaths out of this situation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Bli Anaglate. We have been speaking to Mr. Bli Anaglate, who is the Ghana National Fire Service PRO. And so currently we have vehicles here, and they were all burnt yesterday as a result of the explosion. And we will try and talk to the DSP Sheila Bachman, who is the PRO of the Ghana Police Service. We will try to get her and then talk to her as well. And so the situation here is that the police and everyone, other officials are here to assess the situation. And so we will also try and get DSP Bachman. Why? So, but, and we also have onlookers still on the ground here, even though the place has been cordoned off. And so it looks as if DSP Bachman has left. But we also understand that the Vice President of the Republic, His Excellency Mahmoud Bawumia, was here earlier, and his men and other government officials, but they have since left. And so that is the situation. I'm trying. Okay, so right, I have DSP Sheila Bachman here. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, madam. Yes, so you are live on TV3. Okay, so can you tell us the casualties, death, injuries, and any others, if there is any at all?
Yeah, we have recorded a number of casualties and other persons that we took to several medical facilities for injuries. Regarding the exact figure, I have already told you that a statement is going to be issued. If it hasn't been issued, then you should be checking on your platforms. You should get the statement soon. So yes, there have been a few number in terms of casualties, and then in terms of injured persons, people were discharged and treated. Some people are still receiving treatments, and at 6 facilities. We have the Medina Polyclinic. We send people there, some of whom have been treated and discharged. We send people to the Alpha Hospital close by in Medina. We send people to the Legon Hospital. Others were referred to the 37 Military Hospital. Police Hospital also treated and discharged a number of persons. And then Ridge Hospital.
Right. So, talking about safety of people and residents here, what exactly are you doing to safeguard lives and property? Because we still have a lot of people here watching the scene.
Okay, that is why we have cordoned off some of the areas, and that is why you see a number. You see heavy police presence, and we are supported by some other agencies. Not all the people here in Mufti are civilians. We have policemen amongst them, but we appeal to the public not to come here because we are still here trying to do what we have to do. And so we will continue to be here until total security is restored. That is why we have even done road diversions, and this road in particular has been blocked.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you what exactly you are doing, because the road leading to Hacho has been blocked. Tomorrow will be a working day. I mean, how are motorists going to ensure that, they get to their workplaces? What are you going to do as?
For now, they are following the diversions, but we are working frantically to open this road to vehicular movement by tomorrow morning. That is why you see our presence here. And we are not the only institution here, as you can see for yourself. Other institutions are here also helping for that to happen.
All right, thank you very much. We have been speaking to DSP Sheila Bachman. He's the PRO for the Ghana Police National Service. And so, like she said, tomorrow maybe motorists will have the opportunity to use the Hacho road, because as we speak, if you are coming from Medina, the down part of the footbridge has been blocked, and so all motorists coming from Medina are to use the top of the overpass, and then those coming from Accra and can also use the down part as well as the top. And so that is the situation here. My name is Evelyn Tinkma, coming to you from the Atomic Junction here in Accra.
Thank you very much indeed, Evelyn Tinkma. And the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, has announced that responsible state agencies will take immediate action to ensure citizens do not suffer from any preventable disaster in the future. And speaking to TV3 Saturday night on the deadly explosions at Atomic Junction near Medina in Accra, he described the situation as very worrying, one which should not happen again.
the first thing which comes to mind is that this must stop. And all of us, especially those of us in positions where we have work to do, must get to work to get these things resolved. I have heard from students, I've spoken to my colleagues, a few CEOs, that we need to go back and look at the standards that this country has for citing these things and how they are implemented. We at the Standards Authority work very closely with the National Petroleum Authority. And immediately what we are saying is that let us review every single statute we have. Let us make sure that Ghanaians feel safe and feel protected. We shouldn't wait for another one to happen, and we will not wait for another one to happen. Our president promised change to Ghanaians, and it's critical and extremely important that we all just get to work and get going. It is worrying, it's distressing, and it's not what Ghanaians want. And we have a responsibility as government to ensure that this is resolved.
And the Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketing Companies Association of Ghana says the danger caused by poor handling of gas could be mitigated by effective safety measures. A statement released by the association says previous explosions have almost been traceable to weakness in the procedure in discharge of gas tankers into station tankers. It added, where safety procedures are not properly implemented, there will be issues irrespective of locations. And this afternoon, I have been joined on the phone line by lawyer Bernard Oredo. He is the Public Relations Officer of the LPG Marketing Association of Ghana. Thanks for agreeing to speak with us.
Thank you, too.
Now, what measures are you taking as an association to ensure members adhere to safety standards in the discharge of gas? And usually when these concerns come up, everybody talks about safety, but thereafter, it seems the sleeping dogs or dogs are allowed to sleep.
Well, first and foremost, let me, on behalf of the association, express our condolences to the bereaved family and to those who have sustained varying degrees of injuries. They are in our prayers, and we wish them well. To begin with, safety has been a major concern to us as an association. And we've really, on our own, taken steps to ensure that delivery of LPG are done in a safer manner. Most of the filling stations, as we speak, there's this directive amongst ourselves that they should fix engines which does the discharge instead of the discharge from the bulk vehicles. So most of our outlets are using separate engines to do the discharge. It's just unfortunate that not all of us have been able to mount such engines. But as I speak, I could say 90% of our outlets have done that. So in terms of safety, we are doing a lot. We are educating our people, especially those the attendants. We on a regular basis, we educate them. And it's just unfortunate that such an incident happened yesterday. And I would say, even though investigations are still ongoing, that is purely accidental. And we are doing our best to curtail it, in the next future.
Now, before we talk about collaboration with implementation of laws and measures, you mentioned that about 90% of your members have been able to mount engines, and then the others, that's a 10%, haven't been able to do that. Are there sanctions to ensure that they follow it to the latter?
To begin with, we are not the regulators of safety. What we are doing is something we have done on our own. So as members, we rather encourage every member, dispensing gas, to fit those engines for the discharge. So we are still encouraging everybody, all the members of our association, to adopt that strategy of dispensing gas. Would
you say that as an association you could only pass it under the carpet or sweep it under the carpet and say that we are just an association and we can't encourage them to do that? I'm sure that if some of these measures were put in place, some of these explosions wouldn't happen.
Such people, and my response was that as members of the association, we encourage each other.
Is that enough?
As part of our safety approach to make sure that these engines are fitted.
But is that enough?
Well, for now, because of the current happening, we would say it's not enough because it's quite clear that some of our members have not done that. So right from yesterday when the issue happened, we are still talking to our members, we are encouraging them, and we are meeting as a body to discuss the way forward. So I'm sure from today, from this particular happening, we will do more. We will do more as an association.
Thank you so much. Lawyer Bernardo Redo is the Public Relations Officer of the LPG Marketing Association of Ghana. And victims of last night's gas explosion continue to seek medical care at the Medina Hacho environs in Accra. Our reporter, Kwabena Edujemfi, indicates the Pentecost Hospital at Medina keep receiving scores of victims more than 12 hours after the accident. And the hospital, however, explains some of the victims have been referred to the 37 military hospital.
The Pentecost Hospital here at Medina was the first. Most of the victims of the gas explosion were brought to seek medical attention. And we are being told that here at their car park was where most of the victims were seeking medical attention. We are here this morning to talk to hospital officials to find out how the situation is like this morning.
In our queue yesterday, and I heard people shouting, "There's a fire coming! Fire is coming!" So I see everybody running away. So I just follow them. Then what I saw that somebody just crossed me. Then I fell down. Then they started stepping on me. And before the last one, I saw a motor rider came and walk on my shoulder at the ground. So in fact, I can't wake up again before somebody lifted me up. Then I walk from the market side to the post office side, and in fact, I can never raise my hand again. So I call one of my engineer. They just bring me here that year yesterday.
My name is Mufino Dieudonné. I speak French proper. I was at the Banning Hall here, the Legon here, preset opposite. So when I was in the kitchen, I'm a chef, cooking. When I hear the thing, boom, I just opened my eyes and look at the window side where I saw smoke. I called my boss, say, "Hey boss, there's a smoke near us." He say, "Oh, maybe it's some car where you get blast at the atomic junctions here." Later on, I come and look at it again where I saw more smoke are coming, where people are rushing. I said, "No, boss, this one is not a car blasting or anything. So let's check on." So already, they said 1, 2, I see my boss run away. So what should I do? Me too, I run away. Where my boss is telling me, say, "Oh, I should go and check the sales way we make a day." Say I should go and carry the boss, the money. But I said, "No, boss. So you cannot carry the money." So no, boss, I cannot do it. So boss, this one I cannot fit. They ran away. So during Firestone here, Atomic Johnson here, we across this thing, the bush side. I'm at my house where I see the fire from the heaven coming. It be the heaven fire where push me ground. It be where I fell down. More than 10 people where they saved my life. Somebody to say, "Brother, come and help me." I said, "This one, help not the inside. Help yourself."
The situation was a bit chaotic as people were rushed in here and there. But that's good. But we're able to manage, refer some of them, and manage some, and also send them home.
According to your records, how many victims were reported here?
As at this morning, we have about 39 people who reported to this hospital.
At what point were they referred to other facilities? And what was their condition when they came, like the 39 people, when they came in here, what was their condition here?
We might say that their condition was bad, but thankfully our medical administrator called staff who were at home to come and help. So we had a number of staff who came around to help stabilize them. So we're able to stabilize them, and we sent some to 37 and referred some to Ridge Hospital. Luckily, we had the Chimesiwa and the National Ambulance coming to help our ambulance to do the referrals. Most of them had fractured. You could see that we had few of the victims who had injury from the bends. Most of the patients I might say where I had injury from probably car knocking them down. So you could see a lot of them having fractured from the leg, head injuries, shoulder dislocation, among stuff.
So my colleague Kwabena Edujemfi, who's also been following this story, joins me here in the studio. And as you're aware, very close to where the explosion happened, we do have Presec Legon, which is a senior high school within that very vicinity. Kwabena, that school was in the news yesterday, and we're told that students were running helter-skelter because they were afraid of what happened and they saw the fireballs, head of the explosions and all that. What were your observations when you went to that school this morning?
Before I even spoke to the students or even identified myself as a journalist, I had the opportunity to speak to some of the students, and then, you know, it's a Sunday and people come from outside to worship in their church there, so it was difficult for me to at least get in there as one of the church members and then speak to some of the students, and they were telling me that yes, there was panic last night when the incident happened. They saw the lightning and there was too much heat on campus because of the incident, and but then no one was affected according to them.
The school building,
yes,
nothing
I
within
took
the
time to get out with my cameraman. We went around the school, and then I can confidently say that the school, Presbyterian Secondary School Legon, was not affected. But then some of the students also claim that some of their colleagues cannot be found. So in that case, I can't be really sure. You know, yesterday we had a report that some of them were on the Spintex Road. So for all you know, they may be part of those students who were on the Spintex Road, but then they keep saying that some of their students were not found. They were going to church service. I mean, activities on campus.
The atmosphere?
The atmosphere is very calm. Everything is normal. Teachers were on campus. The school officials were there. I mean, everything is going on normal. They are going around their normal activities on campus. And if you didn't even know about the incidents from last night, you didn't even think or know that anything like that happened. Everything has come back to normal.
But authorities didn't speak to you? Authorities
told us that they've been in touch with parents. Okay. Some of the parents have been there already to pick their wards home. That is those. Some of them, I think they are still frightened about the situation, so they've been to campus to take their wards home. But apart from that, those there, nothing has happened to them, and they are very fine.
Thank you very much, Kwabena Edujemfi, for that update. We'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. But we're still staying on this story, and Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says government will roll out stiffer policies to deal with recurrent disasters at fuel stations across the country. The Vice President spoke to the press after receiving briefing on last night's gas explosion at Atomic Junction.
We owe it to the country, and the government is going to take this very seriously. Discussions were being held last night about the way forward. We wouldn't preempt too many things, but some new policies are going to come in. And those who will try to resist those new policies, I don't think they will be listened to, because it's important for us to put the safety of our people above everything else. And I think it's in the interest of the country that we actually implement some new policy directions. The National Petroleum Authority, the EPA, the Energy Ministry, all of us, fire service, they're all going to be involved as we put this new policy together. And we're going to move quite quickly to do it. It's not going to be one that you wait weeks for it to happen. It's going to happen relatively quickly.
You're still watching Midday Live. Thanks for staying. You're still watching Midday Live. Let's move to the Ashanti region, where 5 persons, including an 8-month-old baby, still missing after a boat carrying 13 passengers on the Ofin River at Amada in the Tiwa Impunya district of the Ashanti region capsized. One dead body has been recovered during a 9-hour search for the victims. 7 of the passengers were rescued immediately. The boat hit a stump and capsized. Now, I'm being joined via phone by Ashanti Regional Correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar to give us some updates on this very incident. Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, Wendy.
Now, give us an update on the number of casualties recorded.
Well, out of the 13 farmers who got drowned, one person was retrieved dead. That's a 50-year-old woman. And another one was also rescued. She was in a critical condition yesterday, but has been discharged now. 7 are okay now, but then as we are speaking now, 5 of them have been missing. And these 5 include a 45-year-old man and his 20-year-old son. And 3 siblings, one is 8-year-old, 8 months old, and the other is 7-year-old, and the other one too is 10-year-old. Now, they are saying, the rescue team is saying the water level keeps increasing. So for now, they've suspended their operations. They are waiting for the water to recede before they continue with the operation. You know, just Friday when it rained for hours, the Ofin River overflowed. So they are saying the water level is now rising. So they cannot go in and conduct the operations, the rescue operations.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ibrahim Abubakar, for that update. And we'll bring us more in our subsequent bulletins. You're still watching Midday Live, and we'll bring you some more on the gas explosion that occurred yesterday at Atomic Junction here in the Greater Accra region. And we did speak to a number of persons. We spoke to the Deputy Minister of Information. We've spoken to the Ghana Fire Service and the police as well. And we're told that 7 deaths have been recorded so far. From our live reports with our reporter Evelyn Tigma, we did see a lot of onlookers around. State agencies are there to help with investigations as well, and the fire service says it's still cooling the tanker to reduce the temperature to prevent a possible explosion if that should happen. My colleague Evelyn Tingma is still on the ground. She joins me via phone to give us some updates. Hello, Evelyn.
Hello, Wendy.
Now, what's the latest you've gathered?
Yeah, Wendy, I spoke to the PRO Ghana Police Service DSP Sheila Bachman. After our live interview, I just asked her about arrest so far, and she indicated that yesterday they arrested about 3 people who were attempting to steal from the scene. And she was unable to tell me exactly what the people wanted to steal, but she said that she will not be able to say that, but the people have been kept in the police custody. And as of now, apart from the police in their uniforms, he says there are also some other police personnel in plain clothes, and they are also watching. And so, you know, even though the place has been holding off, there are still policemen in plain clothes and watching and monitoring everything. And so anybody who wants to do anything or tries to steal anything, the person will be arrested. So 3 people have been arrested, she told me, Wendy.
Thank you for that update, Evelyn Tingman. She'll bring us more as and when she does get the information. You're still watching Midday Live. And next, we have entertainment. And for 15 years, Ghana's evergreen high life torchbearer, Abrantia Machidede, is yet to release an album, but remains arguably the most sought-after high life musician. What has been his trump card? The Iron Boy has been opening up to Uzurai.
With a career spanning more than 3 decades, Daniel Abrantie Amachidede remains one of Ghana's finest musicians, credited with over 25 albums. The compositions of the high life maestro are admired by many. Till date, his last album, Kokromi, released in the early 2000s, is the toast of many. Despite the long wait in releasing an album, Daniel Abrantie Amachidede remains a sought-after musician.
But when was the last time Amachidede released an album?
It was in the year 2002. But because my music is evergreen, that's why still the oldies and the youngs, they all love my music.
Not many musicians can boast of this feat.
Because I'm a serious man. Yeah, I'm a serious man on stage, and I write evergreen music. All my songs are evergreen. That's why people love me. The secret is just to come out with good lyrics, good rhythms, and then perform good to your fans.
And wondering why the long wait in releasing a fresh album? Well, the epitome of originality offered a sneak peek on that. When is Amachide Day releasing another album?
Well, I think you know that nowadays the CDs are not selling, and I always do my recordings in Germany. So spend money to go to Germany and then record an album, and people are not buying. Everybody is just recording it free. It's a waste of money and waste of time.
So on that evergreen note, we do end Midday Live. Thank you so much for watching. But remember, we have more updates on the gas explosion in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Wendy Lai. Thank you so much for watching.